Hello and welcome to our book launch celebration of Beyond Dependence. I'm here with all the beautiful authors who have just done such an amazing job of sharing their hearts, sharing their wisdom and their lived experience in our book. My name is Crystal Hill. I'm the CEO of Hill House Publishing, where we help coaches and healers to write their business books, but also those who are wanting to write their teaching memoirs to create the legacy that they feel like they want to create and make the impact they came to make. So today, as I said, we're celebrating relationships in many different ways, not just romantic relationships, but relationship with self, relationship with family, with all sorts of relationships. And what all of these authors have found, that a great relationship starts with a great relationship with ourselves. And in a world that rewards conformity and having to sacrifice ourselves in order to keep peace and have a great relationship, this is really asking us to pause and reflect of how can it be different? How can we be authentically who we are in a relationship and have a thriving one? And that's really what so many of them are exploring in their own unique ways. So without further ado, let me introduce Anna Tellman, Erin Greeley, Galina Sorensen, and Aslam Perone. So Anna, we'll start with you. If you'd like to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your background, and then go straight into sharing a little excerpt that you found potent in your book.
Thank you very much for the introduction and thank you for making this possible. My name is Anna Thurman. I'm an intimacy expert and relationship advisor. And my background started about 10 years ago when I dipped into the world of NLP, neuro linguistic programming. And it developed from there because I realized that this is what I want to do. I want to understand the mind. I want to understand the behavior of people. And with that, help them to love themselves. Because that's what I set out when I started my business as a self-love coach. And I grew into becoming a relationship coach because, like you said, it's connected. The relationship with yourself reflects the relationship you have with your partner. And if that relationship with yourself isn't accepting and filled with gratitude and the right perspective, the relationship you have with your partner will be the same. And I was planning on talking about my intention, why I was writing the book. But just half an hour ago, I was talking with a friend, and she's going through the third breakup within 3 months with the same guy. And it reminded me a bit of my story because what came to mind when she told me her story and what I said to her is, your cup is empty and you're trying to pour from an empty cup into that relationship, into that person. And what happens so often, and she did it as well, is that she said, but I wanted to help him. I wanted to be there. If I could just be a bit stronger, a bit more understanding, then I might could change his mind. And that reminded me of the first principle that I learned when I did the NLP certification. It's everyone is doing the best they can with the resources they have at the time. So if the mental, physical, emotional resources aren't there where you think they should be, just know that it's the best you can with what you have right now. So there is no need for regret or saying, I should have, I could have, because you did the best you can. And that's also reflected in my book when I talk about what happened after. And yeah, I start reading, I guess.
Yes, I'd love to. Do you want to, is there a context required, or will we just jump right into
We
it?
just jump in because
Okay.
I think the part that I chose, it's in the middle of the story, but it's where I question where does it come from and where we're at the beginning of exploring where does it come from that I lost myself.
Mhm. Thank you.
Okay, I put it up here so I can look straight into the camera. The doubts begin. After the divorce, my 20s were a time of exploration. I went out with friends, with men, threw myself into work, and lived life unapologetically. It was amazing. I felt free, unburdened by expectations. But then I turned 30 and the questions began. Anna, don't you want to settle down? Anna, don't you think it's time to have children? Anna, what's wrong with you? Why can't you just be with one person? And at first I brushed them off. But slowly these questions started to creep in, like little seeds of doubt. They made me wonder. They made me feel less sure of myself. They made me feel less like me. And although moving to England felt like an escape, a way to leave those questions behind, to leave behind everyone's ideas about how my life was supposed to look, England gave me anonymity. It gave me a space to just be. And for a while it worked. But here's the thing about running away. You can leave the place, but you can't leave the thoughts. You pack them in your suitcase, carry them across borders, and unpack them again wherever you land. That's exactly what I did. I carried those questions, those doubts with me to my beautiful hiding spot in the south of England. Every time I went back to visit Germany, the questions were waiting for me, like little souvenirs I couldn't throw away. Don't you think it's time to grow up and have a family? You're in your 30s. How much longer do you want to wait? I didn't want their version of life. I didn't want to be the mother, the housewife, the woman who fit neatly into their expectations. It was such a foreign idea to me. What I wanted was to be happy, to live life fully as myself, doing things I loved with the people who loved me for who I was. But somewhere along the way, I started to believe them. I started to believe in their idea. Thank you.
You're on mute.
You're,
Realize. Thank you so much, Anna. It was, yeah, it's a beautiful, thought-provoking little excerpt that you found. So thank you so much for sharing that. Let's move to the next person in the book, which is Erin. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Just a little information on why I wanted to join the book. I wanted a transformation, and I got that and more. I wanted to share this incredible knowledge of the drama triangle and how it can help people see codependency in their relationships where they couldn't see codependency beforehand. I want to take off the veil and help people see, truly see, so then that they can make a choice and they can choose something different if they would like. This has opened doors that I've never thought were available to me. Anyone that personally knows me will know that writing a book is so far outside my comfort zone, it's not funny. So on that note, I'll go straight into my piece, and it's called The Breakaway. That's the name of the chapter, and I'll just head straight into it. I click send. Numbness creeps in. The moisture evaporates from my mouth. My teeth bite down and catch the edge of my tongue. I can taste metallic from the blood. There is moisture in the air. Suffocating. I gasp for air. I can hear a thrumming. Is that my head or my heart? Almost like a buzzing. or a light thumping. My body shakes. What have I done? Every cell in my body is on edge. Uncertainty setting in. Can I undo what I've done? My heart says no. The air inside the room stills. Nausea rising in my stomach. My arm hairs stand on edge. My body doesn't like this. The cool wood beneath my feet, anchoring me to this very moment. The firm bench behind me, pulling me back to the present. Thank you. I see the swallows dancing outside my window. They don't know the herd I'm in. They are blissfully unaware and distracting my attention. I want to play too. My eyes close. I can smell the aroma of chamomile tea from my brewing, the earthy smell of the wet ground outside my open door. Resignation sets in. The fight is over. I don't know whether I've won or I've lost. My heartbeat slows, so soft, I can't hear it. My head drops, my shoulders curl inwards, my breathing slow but shallow. Just never getting enough air. I see my singing bowl. I notice the uneven textures from it hammered into shape. They reflect differently off the light. I look down at my hand, holding the mouse. I'm still pressing down on the button. I lift my finger and I remember my courageous moment, years in the making. This was the defining moment, the end and the beginning. The letter was sent. This was the first boundary I put in place with a significant person in my life. Up until that point, I thought we had a very loving relationship. But when I stumbled upon a boundary course, that changed my whole outlook on relationships. I started to see how codependency had taken a hold in our relationship. Once I could see, I couldn't unsee. Codependency is about power, and I could see the power struggle in our relationship. Codependency can be so subtle that even people that are aware of codependency can't see it. It's very, very sneaky. I write about the drama triangle. One of the roles is the rescuer. I'll just go into a little bit of detail on the rescuer. The rescuer tries to save the day without being asked and neglects their own needs. This looks like doing things for people who are capable, more than capable, of doing those things for themselves. The rescuer needs to control the outcome, and that's why they need to do what they want to do and how they want to do it for the other person to get the outcome that they want for that person. So it's not about the person they're helping, it's about the rescuer themselves. Have you ever thought, I'll help so-and-so pay their phone bill. They're always paying it late. I wouldn't want them to get their phone cut off. Have you realized you have very little time for yourself as it's taken up by doing things for other people? After helping someone, have you ever thought, how ungrateful. They didn't even say thank you. Do you neglect your needs to help another? Or do you have a sneaky rescuer infiltrating your life? Thank you, Crystal. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Erin. That was beautiful. Very cool. Yes, these questions I think are really, really powerful to just keep checking in and seeing where am I with those questions and where am I with my relationship to rescuing or perpetrating or being a victim of life, right? So yeah, that's what your chapter explores, and thank you for giving us that little insight into it. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Crystal.
Next, we're moving to Galina, who has written on a very different angle yet again on our relationship with ourselves. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm Galina, and in my life, I have been accountant in 15 years. So I was building career and going this way, but something inside me always question who we are and question what we believe in and why. So from early beginning of my teenage years, I actually question and explore what people believe in. And this was guiding me to my spiritual awakening. It was guiding me to find out who I am and what I believe. So in the last 20 years, I still do energy work. And in the last 15 years, I was guiding people to spiritual awakening process. So I am a healer, I'm a channel, an activator of higher consciousness. And in this book, I explore this kind of question, what we are believing, because what we think about ourselves, this is how we live this world, how we live ourselves in this world. So our belief make our life. And I question in this book and explore what it has come from. And this is two parts of ourselves. One part that is actually who we are. So we have this core, this essence of who we are. This is the core we're coming with to this world. And then when we arrive in this world, in this physical world, we begin to learn about ourselves through other people, through surroundings around us. So I like to read a little part of my chapter that is actually about this, about how we begin to create understanding of who we are. For 15 years, I have explored the mechanism of our conscious and subconscious mind. Through thousands of client sessions, I have gained insights that have deeply fascinated me. I have witnessed the creation of life stories, how they transform into beliefs, and how they influence our self-perception and define our reality. This process begins long before we are born. Science shows that from the early weeks in the womb, a child's senses and nervous system begins to develop. The baby can hear its parents' voices. respond to touch, and distinguish between light and darkness. It is a living being. I believe every parent can share stories of communication with their unborn baby and sensing a clear response. But this awareness is far greater than we think. From the very beginning, the child is pure consciousness in the process of becoming human. Even before brain functions are fully developed, the baby preserves the world and forms experiences. It exists with the mother's universe, within the mother's universe, experiencing and absorbing impressions created inside her. This is no distinction between itself and the mother, no sense of time or reflections. It is fully present, experiencing everything as part of itself. It is pure consciousness. So from beginning of our life, before we are born, we begin to feel the world around us. And because we are consciousness and we are experience it as ourselves, we begin to create our first experiences. And when we later working with our beliefs and what experience we have in life, we are not only going back to our childhood, but actually going back to a period of life where this experience was not about ourselves, but what's happening around us. But we begin to create our understanding. We begin to, this is experience we create there. This is about, this is me. We feel that this is me. Don't understand this, but we have this experience. So I explored also in this book, show the way how we create our understanding of ourselves that we later become dependent on because we think this is who we are. And then I also explored that deep inside us, we have this greater power. And I guiding through these chapters to actually reconnect this power you have inside yourself and reconnect this you that is unlimited. So this is way of awakening. My chapters called the path of awakening, where we actually understand that some limitations we have in our life, we believe we have in our life, is not necessarily who you are. This is just some experiences, but you are much more greater. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that and for reading that in a different language as well. You did so well. So thank you so much for
Thank you.
all the wisdom that you're bringing.
Wow.
Beautiful. Let's move over to Özlem. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you for having me. What an amazing journey to share with you all. Thank you so much for opening yourselves up and literally cracking hearts open through this journey. So I am a sex and intimacy coach, a tantra practitioner with an ex-scientist background. 20 years of experience in this field has taught me one thing, and I'm still learning it. And I believe it's the path of love. It's the path of heart awakening. And that's what I love so much about us all coming together. The chapters have cohesively just blended. And I like to share a little bit about my background with the book and my passion and where it came from, which is about actually reclaiming your sexual energy, because I believe sexual energy is life force energy, and if we can tap into this reservoir, then we can have and be and do all the things that we want. But even beyond that, we can access our superconscious powers, as told by the man himself, Osho, when we talk about sexual transmutation. But I talk about that in detail in the book. I'm not going to share that here, but I can't wait to read a little excerpt from the book. And I wanted to take you back to give you a bit of context where my story comes from. And it comes from an abusive childhood, abandonment issues, wounds that still till today, the layers keep peeling away. But I have so much wisdom now in my late 40s where I can recognize when these old traumas come up. And I use these practices that I'm going to teach you in this book on how you can actually bring that loving kindness, that self-love, and the path through the heart in Tantra, forgiveness, and how we can actually embody that on a day-to-day basis so that our past is not in control or in charge, and we're not as reactive and in the story, but we're more in our power and our sovereignty. So I'll share a little excerpt, and I'll start here in chapter 1. It's called Innocence. So I was born in Melbourne, a quiet suburb where life was simple, with my father, mother, older sister, a rabbit, and my cat named Bidnas, who I adored. Everything changed one night when my father made an abrupt decision that would shatter our lives. Without warning or consent, he took my sister and me from our mother, and we were suddenly on a plane to Turkey, my father's homeland. At just 7 years old, the emotional pain of being ripped from my home, from my mother, was almost unbearable. But within that pain was something else, a raw courage I didn't fully understand at the time. Soon after arriving in Turkey, my father remarried a woman from his village, someone chosen by his family. I was told to respect this woman, but it felt like betrayal. I witnessed intense jealousy and disrespect towards my real mother and was encouraged to forget about her. This was the beginning of years spent in emotional turmoil, in a world where my identity and sense of love were undermined at every turn. Yet, despite everything, a quiet hope remained buried deep within me, that one day I would be reunited with the woman who gave me life. I spent countless nights alone in my room, crying and wondering what my mother was feeling. Did she miss me? Was she fighting for me? Looking back, I see a young girl starting to build walls of abandonment, hurt, and rebellion. My childhood in Cyprus was a contradiction. On one hand, I was surrounded by a close-knit, loving family in a small Mediterranean village. We didn't have much. There was always the threat of power outages, water had to be delivered since the tap water wasn't safe to drink. But the love and warmth within our home was undeniable. What I hold closest to my heart are the moments of comforts my grandmother gave me. I remember being terrified of thunder and how, without a word, she would gather me up and tuck me safely under her doona while praying to Allah, creating a little world where nothing could hurt me. It was in those moments that I truly felt the power of love, its ability to calm and shield even from the loudest storms. I cherished the beautiful parts of growing up in Cyprus, celebrating traditions, praying together, and feeling a sense of belonging in a Muslim community. But there was another side to this culture. As a woman, my power was limited. Red lipstick was considered a sin, something that would entice men into sinful thoughts. We were never supposed to talk about our bodies, desires, or pleasures. I remember attending a wake ceremony where I was asked to cover my body completely, my arms, legs, chest, all concealed beneath heavy, dark clothing. I had to sit with my legs uncrossed, my head covered with a hijabi, and remain silent, all as a sign of respect to Allah. While I understood the intention behind these practices, in that moment, I felt a heaviness that went beyond the physical layers of clothing. It was stifling my existence that seemed to suppress my sense of self-expression, making it hard to fully feel connected to who I was. I now understand that those moments, though challenging, were part of a greater respect for tradition, for faith, and for the values that shaped my upbringing. There's a quiet strength in those practices, a devotion that I carry with me, even as I navigate the complexities of self-expression. So I go on, and in chapter 3, where I work with couples, I share about the beauty of authentic connection and how we can actually relate. I see a lot of couples that come and see me in relation to how they've lost connection or they have sexual mismatches, and I share in chapter 3 how they can rekindle that, and we do incredible embodiment practices, which I take you through in the chapter as well.
Thank you so much. It's amazing
There's so
to
much.
hear the diversity in the group and the gifts and the depth of experience that you all have. So with that, I feel to go straight into the experience that you would like to share with everyone. You've all prepared like a transformational experience around relationships. And I guess maybe the question for the audience or for people listening, I've prepared a couple of questions. I'm going to put them in the chat and read them out just so that you can ponder them for yourself. We won't go into them in great depth, but just when it comes to relationships, let me go, and there's just a few that you can take away with you. So, have you ever noticed yourself disappearing in a relationship, romantic or otherwise, that helped you? And what helped you to come back? It's a great question to ask yourself. Or when do you feel most like your true self? And are you in a relationship that is supporting that version of you? What is one belief about relationships that you've let go of or want to let go of in order to create even better ones? And then think about your closest relationship that you have right now. What would change if you prioritized authenticity over harmony? Or maybe you already do. So those are just some questions that sort of come out of the chapters that that are in the book. And with that, you can ponder about them in your own time. You can copy them. Let's go back to Anna for you to take us through your mini transformational experience.
Thank you so much. And thank you, ladies, for the stories you shared. Amazing. So I prepared something that I also talk about in the book, in the last part of my chapter, where I create a list of what I want. Because when I work with couples or individuals, one of my questions is, what do you want? And you may have noticed, what do you want is an easy question to ask, but so hard to answer. So what I would like to start with is that you make a list of what don't you want in your relationship, because that often is a long list and you carry that list in your mind for days, weeks, months, maybe even years of this is not what I want, this is not what I want, this is not what I want. And when you have that list, go and create a list of what do I want. And as I said, it might be quite hard to start with because what do I want? I don't want this. We know that now, but what is it that you actually want? And when I talk to my clients, they say, I want loyalty. I say, that's amazing. But what does it mean? What does loyalty mean? What does it mean to you? And how does it look like? Because often we have these buzzwords in our head or these big words and says, this is what I want. But loyalty to me might mean something wholly different than it means to you. So when you talk to your partner about this is what I want, how do you explain it to them when you say, I want loyalty from you? Because you don't know what it means to him or to her. So get clear on how does loyalty or any other word you pick, how does that look like? How should the other person behave? How do you behave? And how does it look like when it's not happening? When you have that list of this is what I want, what do you do when you don't get that? What does it mean? Is it a deal breaker? Or is it just something that you say, maybe that's not so important. Maybe something else is more important, or it looks different how I want it, that it's important, if that makes sense. I confused myself. So I've written down here. So what does it mean? And why is this important to you? How does it make you feel? What does it give you? How is your energy? How are your thoughts when you get that what you want in the specific way that you want it? And then talk to your partner. Talk to your partner about it, but come from a place of curiosity and openness, because this might be the first time that you told them, this is what I want. And in this I want are many boundaries. And they might be new to them. They never heard them. So give them the freedom and patience to deal with their emotions, with their feelings. And when they are ready, talk about it and see, maybe they have ideas of what it means to them and how can they support you in getting what you want. Thank you very much.
Some beautiful questions. And I really feel like, why is it important to you is almost more important to talk about in a relationship than what do you want? Because as you said, it's so different for each person. And then when we understand why, so what do you want could be like, the bin example. I want you to take the rubbish out. But then often it's like the why do you want that is the deeper meaning. And that's where the true understanding can come, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for that. I love that. Beautiful. Let's move over to Erin. Is she Erin? Yeah, you are there. So we'll remove this pin here and let's get you up on the screen for your mini experience.
Hi, Crystal. So I'm now going to take you all on a visualization or into a visualization. I invite you to close your eyes, visualize yourself stepping into the role of the rescuer, doing things for other people like giving them money, giving them advice only because you want the best for them, overgiving, neglecting your own needs, giving because you feel you have to, or giving because that's what's expected. Feel what you feel. Be present to how this role makes you feel. Does it give you purpose? Does it make you feel drained? Now, just like taking off a comfortable jacket, holding the left sleeve and pulling your left arm slowly out of the sleeve, then holding onto the right sleeve and sliding your right arm out of the sleeve. Let go and see the jacket fall to the ground and disintegrate. What does it feel like to step outside of what you know? Does it feel strange, scary, energizing, or empowering? Now stepping into your own power, where you no longer need to rescue to feel worthy. What does your own power look like? What color is it? What does it sound like? What is one thing that you can do to remind yourself that you are worthy. Something small like taking time out, eating a healthy dinner, having a shimmy to some music, putting a smile on your face that comes from the inside. You are significant. You are enough. You are here for a reason. You can choose your own path. Becoming aware of your body, gently opening your eyes and coming back to the present. Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you. Ah, that was beautiful. Your voice is so calm and soothing. So, and yeah, we really had some beautiful visions there. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks, Krista.
Let's move over to Galina.
And then we continue our exploration of how we feel inside ourselves. In this book, I write about this two part of ourselves. This is what we believe, how we see ourselves, and who we are deep inside. That is this part that unlimited. So we are going to have experience. Because I energy workers, I hold the field for you and guide you to experience this you, this essence of you, who you are, and try to feel, experience how this essence is represented in your body. Because when we believe something, this is not just thinking, this is not just in our mind, it becomes our state of being. And our state of being, because it become reflection in our body and our chemical processes in our body. So when we change our state of being, we change everything and we change our chemical settings in our body too. So I invite you to have this experience where we connect, reconnect our true essence. And I invite you to begin to feel yourself, how you usually do, and then go deeper. Deeper to connect, reconnect this true essence of you. And right now, we're not making understanding of what it is, we're making experience. So feel how this essence inside you, you make place to this essence, and this essence begins to arise inside you. It arises from the depth of who you really are. This essence is also your higher consciousness. It's inside you. This is you. You may feel another state of being, so we're moving to state of being of this essence, this unlimited power you have inside you. It's like create an alignment. We align whole our being to this essence of who you are. This unlimited power, this knowledge, understanding of yourself from another perspective. There's a space of possibilities inside you. And we open this space in your state of being, in your life. And it becomes self-expression. We expressing this being. We make it visible. And this is in your power. This is who you are. This is your authentic state. And we give it more space. And we allow our body make changes, become this essence, become this being, become this knowledge. This is energy, and you are an energetical being. Each of your cells carry this knowledge of essence of who you are. So we make it alive in our cells, in our body, in our self-perception. We make our true essence alive in our bodies, in our feelings, in our state of being. This process unfolding, and it's going to unfold further, because it's like make a movement, make activation, activate a movement inside ourselves. Let this self of who you are become more visible in your life. And notice what change. So we notice how it is feel to be this essence. When we change our state of being, we change our understanding of who we are and our possibility, and begin to create life from this essence, then everything going to change. Because this who you are, who you really are, have a greater power. This is who you are, what you come with to this world. And we're inviting this today to be visible. And while you're staying in the state of being, you're going to come back to your reality as this essence of you, as this power, as this knowledge. When we are aligned with this part of ourselves, we're also aligned with our deeper knowledge inside. We can call it intuition, but this is deeper knowledge. And this knowledge, this special voice inside you, going to show you the way in your life that is about who you are and your expression in life. So this power we have inside are much greater. This is knowledge, this is different state of being. This is our self-expression aligned with our message to the world. Thank you. Just gentle, come back, but in this energy, in this understanding of yourself, and let it unfold further.
Thank you so much. That feels really beautiful, beautiful build on what Aaron shared with us. I'm feeling very tingly and very expanded right now. So thank you. Aslam, let's move to you and
Thank
see
you so
what.
much. What a blissful journey. Thank you so much, ladies, for your transformation. I'm in the bubble. I gotta, I'm gonna stay in the bubble and continue this journey with you as I now invite you to feel into this next practice I want to take you on. It's an embodiment journey where we can actually learn to cultivate self-love. So when we can embody self-love, we can bring this not only to ourselves but to our relationships and be in deeper connection with the world. Like when we can look at a sunrise, we can actually fall in love with it as if it's the first time we've actually seen it, rather than jumping in a car and being totally unconscious and unaware and in your head. So this is a beautiful go-to practice, because until in Tantra, until we can actually feel the experience in the body and through the breath, we can't actually just do it with the mind. So I want to take you on this beautiful journey where you can actually get a sense of this self-love for yourself. So take a moment to get comfortable and come into your beautiful space. And when you're ready, you can softly close your eyes. And we're going to begin by connecting to the breath. So just take a moment to notice how the breath is moving in through the nostril and out as you cultivate a deep relationship with your body now. I want you to invite a sense of connection through the breath, your first beautiful sense, connecting to this prana or life force energy entering your lungs, invigorating this very moment. And you might notice nothing, a numbness, or you might notice a racing heart and your breath might be a little fast. Or perhaps you might notice calmness. No matter what it is, just inviting whatever it is into this space and just notice it. Just feel what you feel. So we're not pushing anything away and we're not reaching for anything either. We're just simply learning to be with what is here now. And if it feels good in your body, I want you to deepen your breath. So just take some time. Maybe you even move your body to encourage the breath to come into your lungs, your chest. If it feels nice, you can move different parts of your body, but do it slow and consciously with the breath. So you're inhaling through the nose. And as you exhale, you can either breathe out through the nose or feel free to open the mouth and release on the exhale the breath, and go again as you open softly to the breath, inviting this connection to the body, and a slow, steady exhale to let it go. Let's just do that a few more times, inviting this receptive aspect of the breath, cultivating this magnetic presence that's within you. And as you breathe out, let a sigh out, perhaps letting go of your day, your thoughts. Just let them dissolve through the breath. Let's just do 2 more together. Feel the breath move in and out, this energetic, magnetic presence. We're constantly in our heads. So coming into your body just through that simple technique, a few moments of breathing and feeling into this present moment is what instantly connects you back into the present moment. So stay here and just come back to your natural breath. Allow yourself to fully receive this beautiful transmission. And I invite you to go down into your base. So into your pelvic bowl. And I want you to feel your beautiful pelvic bowl. And for women, this could be your womb. For a man, this can just be the pelvic region, your prostate gland, your sexual body, your entire reproductive organs. I want you to go down into this space and connect deeply to the heart of this moment and the connection to the truth of what is as we dive into this beautiful space, this sacred space that is available to you any moment for your intuition to be accessed, and this deep reservoir of wisdom. So if it feels good, you can also place a hand over your belly button or just below your belly button in your pelvic region. You might even gently soothe your belly by rubbing it with your hand and feel that warmth, feel that connection. And inviting a sense of listening deeply to your body and honoring your body's wisdom as you ask yourself this question: how can you allow yourself to listen more deeply to your desires? Allow yourself to sit with this insight and just acknowledge whatever arises. You might not get anything right now, and that's okay. This can take some time to connect and feel. Good. And whenever you feel ready, you can gently begin to come out of the practice, giving yourself a moment to sense this self-love that you've cultivated for yourself and sharing this out into the world with your loved ones. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What a beautiful journey, one building upon the other, just feeling all expanded now and truly feeling that sense of self. As we're wrapping up, I would like to give each of you just another brief moment to share how people can go deeper with you into the work that you do, and also in just one sentence, an intention that you are leaving everybody listening to this. What your intention is for how are you leaving them? What is your intention for them as they move forward in themselves and with their relationships? So Anna, we will start with you again.
Thank you. So I think the easiest to remember is my website, annathelman.com. But there's also the link to my link tree where free resources, the self-help guide, or the self-rescue guide, it's called. And what I want them to leave with is that you are the problem and you are the solution. It starts with you.
Thank you. And of course, all of you have a beautiful gift that you're sharing to the readers inside our book. So if you haven't gotten your copy yet, make sure you get that. The link tree and all of those links to the authors are in there. Thank you so much, Anna. Let's move to Erin.
Hi, Crystal. My intention is to create awareness, and with awareness, people can make choices to choose differently if they like. So that's my intention in relation to the book. And I have a link tree website, and I have a checklist there for people to see how codependent their relationships are. And I will be down the line doing some women's circles in the future.
Beautiful. And the link to your link tree, of course, is also in the book. Thank you so much, Erin. Galina, how can people go deeper with you?
Yes, I offering one-to-one awakening process. So this is process where I guide to realize this true nature, who we are, see it, feel it. This is not just understanding. This is how we can experience this and how we can experience this through our body, through our life, physical life, here on earth, but with this greater power, with this connection and connection to our deeper wisdom inside that can guide us through the life. So this is through one-to-one sessions, and I make different courses, and it's changed every year. So follow me on my webpage. This is galinaseance.com, and links come in the book.
Beautiful. Thank you, Galina.
My intention, and my intention, of course, to live this true self, because this is no limitation, but we limit ourselves by believing in this limitation. So this is how to live our true self.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Aslam, how can people go deeper with you?
Well, my hope is that this book offers a glimpse into what's possible when intimacy becomes a sacred space for healing and deep transformation. Whether you're rebuilding trust in an intimate relationship with yourself or with others, or seeking to be more in your body, your desires, your boundaries are all worthy of honor. So that's my wish for you. And how you can find me and work with me, I'm offering a free beautiful practice. It's an embodiment practice so you can feel more pleasure in your body, either with yourself or with your partner. And they can find me through my Instagram and my website, whitesamsara.com.au. And I have a free gift. So it's a 25-minute video to awaken your sexual energy for embodied intimacy that I'm offering through my link tree. And that link is there as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And all the links are in the book, of course. So, ladies, thank you so much for all of the wisdom that you've shared tonight, and also in the book, of course. And thank you for listening to this. May you all move beyond dependence. May you all create more resilient, more empowered, and more authentic relationships in your lives. Thank you.
Thank you.